cold out here. Well, it's October, so... Anyway, this is outside, as you can see. I really didn't have any privacy in the house, so I came out here. I was just in the mood to talk about a few things. First of all, I've been getting a lot of comments recently on my crack videos about SwanQueen. All these people saying, why do you dislike SwanQueen? I dislike it. It's not that I hate it. I just don't see how people can ship it. First of all, I'm not a shipper. I don't ship it because, first of all, Regina is Emma's step-great-grandmother. Sorry, Henry's step-great-grandmother, Emma's step-grandmother. And there are a lot of people who are saying, well, it's not blood-related. Any ties she had to the family died when her husband died. I see marriage as more binding than that. Plus, if what they're saying is true, would that make it right for me to marry my step-grandfather when my Nana died? Would that make it all right? Some people have said, if you never saw him as your grandfather, then yes. Family doesn't work like that. I agree, to some degree, family is how you see one another. But to some degree, family is about, number one, blood, mostly. Legally, there are people who adopt, there are people who marry into families and stuff like that. And morally. And if let's say, I was in love with my step-grandfather after my Nana died, it would be morally wrong because he was married to my grandmother. And plus, in my opinion, anybody who marries into a family is considered family. Legally, morally, and for those of you who say, oh, she's going to bring God into this, yes, in God's eyes, yes. Plus, this is fairy tales. And even in fairy tales, there is a certain sense of morality, a certain sense of law, and it just... Plus, they will bring to the fact that Regina was forced to marry King Leopold. what does that have to do with it? It may have been horrible, she may not have wanted it, but she still married him. It may have been under horrible circumstances, but she still married him. In the eyes of the church that she was married in the eyes of the law, and in the eyes of even Snow White, she is family. In Season 1, Episode 16, The Stable Boy, when Snow White saw Regina kissing Daniel in the stable and she ran off, and Regina caught up with her, and Snow said, "Why were you kissing that man? You're to marry my father. You're to be my mother." She didn't say stepmother. She said mother. Because all extensive purposes, she is her mother. She is the one who would have been raising her. And had circumstances been different, she probably would have been raising Snow. And it bothers me to death that people are shipping these two. And another reason why I don't like it is because people try to see this relationship as a love-hate relationship. And when it's clear that there is really no relationship at all, except utter disdain. They hate the crap out of one another, and people try to see it as this love-hate relationship. And I'm not seeing any love, really. The scene when Emma's chopping down the tree, people like to see those as hidden, forbidden, hidden love looks, gazes. I see that as total disdain, total hate. And that look Regina gives Emma when she's walking off saying, "Your move," that look is not love. That look is, "I am thinking of a million ways to kill you right now." And the only thing, the few things they have in common are they basically grew up without a mother, because Regina's mother was heartless, so basically, and never really treated her well, so that's basically like she never had a mother, only worse. And Emma didn't have Snow. Another thing is they both lost someone they love. Regina killed Graham, and Regina lost Daniel. And another thing they have in common is they share a son. And for those reasons, it doesn't justify shipping them. And it's not that I hate SwanQueen shippers. I really don't. I just don't agree with them. And I am not trying to spew hate. I am not trying to spew stuff. I'm just putting out my view of why I think SwanQueen doesn't work. What was another reason? There were so many. Another reason is basically Eddie and Adam have basically said that SwanQueen isn't going to happen, and it pissed off a lot of people. And since SwanQueen is a very big fan base, I can certainly see why it would piss off a lot of people. And also, there are a lot of people who say, who say SwanQueen isn't meant to be canon, that kind of is blown to the wind when you see all the SwanQueen fan fiction about it being canon, about them getting married, about them sharing Henry, having a... It's just stupid for people to say, SwanQueen doesn't need to be canon. Then what about all the other canon stuff out there? Yeah. And for people to take stuff like, how do I get the Savior to taste my forbidden fruit? They take that as a sexual innuendo, when clearly she wanted to curse her, put her into a sleeping curse, and get her out of the way. And people say as, oh, well, if she gave it to her, she would be out of her way for a while, and then Regina would just give her true love's kiss and wake her up again. If somebody did that to me, I wouldn't think they loved me at all. And if somebody tried to keep me from my biological son, I wouldn't think they loved me at all. And also, people say nobody sees Regina as part of the Charming family. Charming, Henry, Emma, nobody sees that. That's bull. In the episode Manhattan, when Snow and Charming find out that Neil is Rumpelstiltskin's son, this is an exact quote from that scene. Snow White and Prince Charming are sitting in the apartment, and Charming says, so Rumpelstiltskin is Henry's grandfather. Snow White says, yep, but I'm his grandfather. You can have more than one. So Regina is Henry's step-grandmother. Actually, his step-great-grandmother. And she's also his adoptive mother. And I love what Charming says. I'm glad we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving in our land, because that dinner would suck. I really enjoyed what Charming said there, but Snow has always viewed her as Regina as family. No matter how evil she was always her mother to her, tragic as it was. And people say Henry has never viewed her as her step-great-grandmother. Well, of course he wouldn't view her that way, because all his life he's been growing up with her as his adoptive mother. So all his life he's been knowing her as mother, and she's been knowing him as son. So the first thing they would think of when they think of one another is mother and son. So yes, but that doesn't change the fact that she still is his step-great-grandmother also. And those are just some of the many reasons why I think SwanQueen just doesn't work. And for those of you who like SwanQueen, I'm sorry. It's my opinion. I do not mean to offend anyone or hurt anyone. And if I do, I apologize. I just don't feel... I mean, even Eddie and Adam said it wasn't gonna happen. And I think there were reasons why. And I think that's probably... and the reason why they did what they did with Mulan is to kind of compensate and apologize to the people for that. Which is another thing that kind of gets me. because it seemed forced with what they did with Mulan. They started her out seeming like she's in love with Philip. All this joking around that she was in love with Philip. And when they finally brought her out as either gay, bi, whatever, it just didn't seem to add up. It seemed forced. It seemed very unplanned. And I think Eddie and Adam were just trying to compensate for not being able to do SwanQueen. Plus, in this third season, I'm seeing a lot of Captain Swan. And all of you know, if any of you watch my videos, you know I am a Swan Thief shipper. And because of what's happened over the third season, I am slowly becoming a Captain Swan shipper. Because I'm seeing what they're doing with the third season. And I'm seeing all the little hints there is there. When Captain Hook says, "Oh, I quite fancy you when you're not yelling at me." The scene when he gives her Balefire's sword and they have that toast for Balefire, and the scene when he asks Swan who she really is, and she says, "Wouldn't you like to know?" And he says, "Actually, I would." And that scene when Regina gets mad at Emma and she says, "Oh, you want to follow your boyfriend, do what he tells you to do?" And Emma says, Hook's not my boyfriend." And Snow White says, well, Neil, what are you talking about? She just lost Neil." I just think all these little hints of all that. Plus, even the interviews are giving hints to it. When Eddie and Adam are having an interview, and there are people who say, "Well, they want Balefire, since Balefire's with there, they're shipping Mulan and Balefire." And well, we want Balefire to get to Emma, but right now she's with Hook. So also there were hints about future episodes. There were times when people were interviewing Jennifer Morrison, and they asked, "What was your favorite Captain Swan moment?" And she says, "I can't tell, it's a secret." What? It's going to be something that happens in future episodes? Because she couldn't basically tell what it was right then. Either that or she just didn't want to say, or she was hinting at future episodes. And also there was one time where they says, "Has filming season 3 been fun?" And she says, "Well, it's always fun when you get to kiss someone." I'm not kidding, that's an exact quote. And she hasn't even kissed anyone in the third season yet. So, I don't know. I'm definitely seeing, the more I see of season 3, the more I think Captain Swan's going to happen. Plus, he's always, Captain Hook's always flirted with Emma in the past. And he's trying I can see he's trying very hard in the third season to gain her confidence, gain her trust back again, and trying to change. So, who knows? I'm sorry, I'm ranting. This was supposed to be, well, I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope I haven't offended anyone. And with Mulan, it's not that I disliked the fact that they did that with her. I actually don't mind the fact if she's gay. I have little to no problem with her being gay in the show. My sister's gay, and it's not that I'm okay with it, because all of you know I'm a Christian. I don't agree with homosexuality, but I'm not going to bash people over the head for it either. So I don't mind if they put a gay character in there. It just seemed forced with what they did with Mulan. Plus, what they did with Mulan, I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, I just hope they don't go anywhere with it. I don't mind if she's gay, I just hope they never go anywhere with it, because it's not that I hate homosexuals. I just don't agree with what they're doing. I think the lifestyle is wrong, and they disagree with that. That's perfectly fine. That's their opinion. This is my opinion. I just think what they're doing is wrong. It's unnatural. It's against God, and I love homosexuals to death. They can be some of the nicest people ever, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with their lifestyle. But I'm not spewing hate. I do like homosexuals. I hang around homosexuals because my sister's gay, and I hope she will realize that what she's doing is wrong, but I'm not trying to stop anyone from being gay. I'm not trying to hate anyone for being gay. And the reason I am saying this so often is because I know there are some people on YouTube who will say, "You're a hater. You're gonna die and go to hell because you're spewing such hate and disdain and blah blah blah." And as Marilyn Monroe said, I don't care what people think about me. If they care enough about what I do to bother with doing that, then I'm already better than them. Which, in a way, is kind of true. Not that I agree with Marilyn Monroe either. I'm not really a huge Marilyn Monroe fan. She was a gorgeous lady. Had a sad life, though. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you disagree with what I'm saying. I am not out there to offend anyone. I'm out there to just bring up discussion. And for those of you who will spew hate comments on this, you don't know me, so please just leave me alone if that's all you're going to do. And goodbye.